So I've just been having an interesting conversation around comfort zones and fear. Now, what fascinates me around personal development, insight, human transformation, coaching, etc., is we mostly don't see what we don't see. We don't notice the things that are holding us back. We don't notice the thoughts that are controlling our life, the emotions that are controlling our life. Or sometimes even if we see them, we make them mean something that isn't necessarily true. They often don't mean what we think they mean. Now, how this relates to the comfort zone, bearing in mind the comfort zone isn't a thing, but it's it's pointing to a thing, right? Is we often don't see it. We often don't notice it's there. We don't. Now, if I talk about myself, for example, I never really subscribed to the idea of a comfort zone. I never really subscribed to the idea that you get out of your comfort zone and you retreat, or, your willingness to stay in that discomfort, that uncertainty was the difference between growth or not. Despite learning about it in psychology, etc., and hearing about it, I didn't really subscribe to it. And it's because I didn't actually see it in my own life. I didn't see it taking place. But yet I see it a lot in people, and then I saw it in myself, and it's like, holy shit. So, where am I going with this conversation? There are many things that people want to do, and they know they want to do it. But then they talk themselves out of doing it, and they have all of these convincing stories as to why they shouldn't. Or they know that they shouldn't be doing something, they shouldn't still be in a relationship, or they shouldn't still be in a job, and yet they spend another 5 years in it before eventually getting out of it and then thinking, fuck this, I knew 5 years ago that this wasn't right for me. So it's just quite interesting to notice, what is that comfort zone? What is that? And from what I can see, new experiences can cause uncomfortable feelings. They can cause anxieties. They can cause fears. They can cause this, shaking up the snow globe of thought, where your thoughts are everywhere. And for most humans, we don't like negative emotions. We don't like that feeling of being out of control. We don't like uncertainty. We don't like that fearful thinking. We don't like anxieties. We don't like all of this shit. So we tend to want to almost retrace our footsteps. Go back to the last place that we know felt okay. So stop doing what we were going to do. Step back. If thinking about moving house has caused all of this chaos in my mind, let's just not do that then and step back. If thinking about starting a business has caused all these fears and anxieties, etc., let's not do that then, let's step back. Or if I've taken one step forward into starting a new business and then I found myself just in this absolute tornado of thinking, riding this roller coaster of emotions, and that feels scary and meaningful to me, then you step back. You retreat back to safety. You retreat back to the last kind of mental location that felt okay, the last place in your mind that felt still and tranquil. And it's very easy from that place to assume that is the outside world. It's the new house, it's the new business, it's the new job, it's the whatever it is, right? I even see it in other contexts where someone's in a relationship they don't want to be in, but they get out of it and then they experience all of that yearning, and all they can think about is all the good times, and they forget about all the bad times, and they're just laying in bed crying, and they don't want to feel that way anymore. So rather than stick with the emotion, feel through the emotion, accept the emotion, ride out the emotion, accept that this is going to be how you feel now for a while until you don't anymore, they go back. Because that feels safe. That feels okay. That's an instant fix to make you not feel those emotions anymore. And people make that mean something. Maybe I do want to still be with them, and they get back together and everything feels okay. In fact, everything feels really good for about a day or a week. And you're like, oh, and everything settles down, and you're so glad you don't feel like that anymore. But then gradually the emotions that led you to that breaking up decision come back over time. So this shows up for us in a lot of ways. Now, I will wrap this up with a final kind of thought here, which is, I've noticed that anything new, selling a business, divorce, starting a business, a new job, moving house, new baby, especially if it's your first, many things, buying a house that's more expensive than you've had before, and you don't know if you're going to, you worry that you won't be able to afford it, or taking on a staff member for the first time if you've gone from, a solopreneur to a whatever it is, something new, a new challenge, a new project tends to shake up that snow globe of thinking where everything feels unsettled. And then it seems like you have the decision to retreat and stay where you are, which is almost like short-term kind of pleasure but long-term pain. That standing still, not growing, not taking risks, not stepping into uncertainty, it will feel safe. But if you're anything like me and most people I speak to, there will be this yearning for more. There will be this frustration that you're not doing more, you're not becoming more, you're not growing. It's like you're comfortable, but you're gradually dying. So what I tend to see happen is people think the outside world is the issue, rather than just understanding that there are many things in our life that are going to shake up the snow globe. Sometimes my job is to shake up your snow globe. Sometimes my videos are to shake up your snow globe, right? Where your thoughts are everywhere. And that can feel unsettling. It can feel worrying. It can feel fearful. It can feel many things. But if we are able to just be okay with that, like a snow globe, right, it settles. The thoughts settle. New thoughts settle. New experiences settle. The new job stops feeling scary, and you stop thinking that you're shit at what you do and wondering how you even got the job and feeling like a fraud, and that can all settle, and before long you're like, oh, I'm really comfortable in this job. Same as breaking up, right? 2-3 months down the line, everything settles and you go, oh, I feel light and free. The new business, the first year of business is always, from anyone I've spoken to, when they've never run a business before, that first year is absolute fucking chaos. A new baby, no one warns you. Oh my God, that's like having your snow globe shook to death for about a year. And then it settles. And by the second child, you're like, yes, we know what we're doing now. So I'm going to wrap this up because I know this is like 8 minutes. Just an interesting conversation for me, really, is just looking at this whole conversation. I can't really summarize this in one thing, right? You've had thoughts, you've had insights, you've had questions, you've had just some things to think about, really. Just some food for thought, I think is the phrase. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I will speak to you soon.